The Unbreakable. The Calvin Bassey Story. In the world of football, we often celebrate the moments of glory, the goals, the victories, the trophies held high. But behind every triumph lies a story of sacrifice, resilience, and an unrelenting hunger to prove the world wrong. This is the story of Calvin Bassey, a boy who learned early that life offers no guarantees, only opportunities for those brave enough to seize them. Calvin Ubungabasi Bassey was born on December 31, 1999, in Piacenza, Italy, to Nigerian parents who had journeyed far from home in search of a better life. His mother, a woman of remarkable strength, worked tirelessly to provide for her children. His father? Well, that's where the story takes its first painful turn. When Calvin was still very young, his father made a choice that would echo through the years. He left, abandoned his family, walked away from the responsibilities of fatherhood, leaving Calvin's mother to shoulder the weight alone. For a young boy trying to understand his place in the world, the absence of a father figure carved a void that could have consumed him. But Calvin's mother refused to let her son become a victim of circumstance. She worked multiple jobs, cleaned homes, did whatever it took to keep food on the table and dreams alive in her children's hearts. She taught Calvin something that no amount of money could buy: resilience. Calvin's mother told her son every day, "Calvin, you have something special inside you. Don't let anyone, not poverty, not absence, not doubt, take that away from you." Growing up in Italy as a child of Nigerian immigrants came with its own challenges. Calvin was different. He looked different. He sounded different. But on the football pitch, none of that mattered. There, he found his language, his universal tongue. At the age of 15, Calvin's raw talent caught the attention of Leicester City's Academy Scouts. It was 2015, and the Foxes were on the cusp of one of the greatest underdog stories in football history: winning the Premier League. For Calvin, joining their academy felt like stepping into destiny. But dreams don't always unfold as planned. Despite his obvious ability, breaking into Leicester's first team proved nearly impossible. The competition was fierce, the pathway narrow. Calvin trained relentlessly, pushed himself beyond limits, but opportunities remained scarce. Rejection became a familiar companion. Lesser men would have quit. Lesser boys would have returned home defeated. But Calvin Bassey was forged in the fire of abandonment and struggle. Quitting wasn't in his vocabulary. If Leicester couldn't see what he had to offer, someone else would. In 2020, at 20 years old, Calvin made a move that would change his life forever. He signed with Rangers Football Club in Scotland. Finally, a real chance. Finally, a stage. Under manager Steven Gerrard, a Liverpool legend who knew about overcoming odds, Calvin flourished. Initially signed as a left back, his versatility became his superpower. Center back? No problem. Left wing back? He thrived. Wherever the team needed him, Calvin delivered. The 2021 to 2022 season became his masterpiece. Rangers embarked on a magical run to the UEFA Europa League final. Along the way, they dismantled European giants, RB Leipzig, Borussia Dortmund. And at the heart of these victories was Calvin Bassey, playing with a fearlessness that defied his age. In the semi-final second leg against RB Leipzig, with Rangers protecting a narrow aggregate lead, Calvin was immense. Every tackle perfectly timed, every header won, every sprint tracked back. When the final whistle blew, Rangers had reached their first European final in 14 years, and Calvin Bassey had announced himself to the world. Crowd roaring, Rangers players embracing. Though Rangers would fall short against Eintracht Frankfurt in that final, losing on penalties in Seville, Calvin's performances throughout the campaign earned him Rangers Young Player of the Year award. The boy from Piacenza, the son of an absent father, had become a European football sensation. Calvin faced a choice that many children of immigrants know well: which national team to represent. Born in Italy, raised in England, but with Nigerian blood flowing through his veins. In 2021, Calvin chose his heritage. He chose Nigeria, green and white flags waving, Nigerian national anthem playing. And when the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations arrived in Ivory Coast, Calvin Bassey was ready to write another chapter. The tournament tested everything he had learned. Playing alongside talents like Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, and Alex Iwobi, Calvin anchored Nigeria's defense with maturity beyond his years. Match after match, he stood tall, reading the game brilliantly, commanding his area, leading by example. Nigeria's journey took them all the way to the final against the host nation, Ivory Coast. For 90 minutes, Calvin and his teammates battled with everything they had. But football can be cruel. Despite taking the lead, Nigeria fell 2-1 to the Elephants in heartbreaking fashion. Footage of Nigerian players devastated after the final whistle. The pain was visible. Calvin sat on the pitch, head in hands, tears mixing with sweat. So close to glory, so close to immortality. Yet even in defeat, he had proven something vital. He belonged at the highest level. After his exploits at Rangers, Ajax Amsterdam came calling in 2022, paying €23 million for his services. But the Dutch experience proved challenging. Playing time was inconsistent, confidence wavered. Calvin needed a fresh start. In January 2024, Fulham secured Calvin on loan, with an option to make the deal permanent. This was his chance to prove himself in the world's most unforgiving league, the English Premier League, and prove himself he did. Week after week, Calvin showcased the complete package. His pace allowed him to recover when beaten. His strength made him formidable in physical duels. His football intelligence meant he was always in the right position at the right time. Against Manchester City's relentless attack, he stood firm. Against Liverpool's speed merchants, he matched them stride for stride. Against Arsenal's intricate build-up play, he read every movement. Fulham's defense, once considered their weakness, became a strength, and Calvin Bassey was the cornerstone. Marco Silva, in his words, says Calvin has everything you want in a modern defender. He can defend, he can attack, he's intelligent, he's brave. He's been exceptional for us. By the summer of 2024, Fulham made the move permanent, investing significantly in Calvin's long-term future. The faith was clear. This wasn't just about one season. This was about building something special. The 2024 to 2025 season has seen Calvin continue his upward trajectory. Every match is another opportunity to silence doubters, to prove that the kid from Piacenza belongs among England's elite. Every clean sheet is a testament to his journey. Every crucial tackle is an answer to those who once overlooked him. Today, Calvin Bassey stands as more than just a footballer. He represents every child who grew up without a father's guidance, yet refused to become a statistic. He embodies every immigrant family's dream, deferred but not denied. He is living proof that your beginning doesn't determine your ending. The father who walked away all those years ago? He missed watching his son become a man of character, discipline, and unwavering determination. He missed the goals, the victories, the nights of European football under stadium lights. He missed everything, but perhaps that absence, painful as it was, forged the very steel that makes Calvin Bassey unbreakable today. Perhaps every tear his mother shed, watering the seeds of his potential, was worth it. Perhaps every rejection, every setback, every moment of doubt served a purpose. Calvin doesn't speak much about his father's absence publicly. He doesn't need to. His life is the answer. His success is the response. Every time he pulls on a jersey, whether for Fulham or Nigeria, he honors the woman who stayed, the mother who believed, the family who sacrificed. The beautiful game has a way of rewarding those who refuse to quit. It has a way of finding the hungry, the humble, the fighters. Calvin Bassey's story isn't finished. At just 25 years old, his best chapters may still be unwritten. Kudos to Calvin for leading Nigeria to African glory at AFCON 2025 with a bronze win. Will he reach the pinnacle of club football? Will he inspire the next generation of kids who grew up with less but dream of more? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, whatever comes next, Calvin Bassey will face it the same way he's faced everything else in his remarkable life. Unbreakable, undeniable, unstoppable. This documentary is organized and produced by TNN, the News Nigeria TV.